Hey, how's it going everyone? So I think it's time for a classic news roundup video for Street Fighter V. We got a lot of funny things to talk about today. Conspiracy, rumor, corruption. But first, we need to learn more about the story details of Street Fighter V, or lack thereof. And second, we have this hilarious tweet that I can't wait to talk about, hinting on another Capcom fighting game coming up, which resulted in mass confusion and hilarious damage control. And finally, Capcom is rolling out the Netcode patch for Street Fighter V very, very soon. Or attempt to fix the Netcode. Like, it doesn't mean they're gonna fix it, you know what I mean? It's been 4 years. So anyways, so to start things off, let's talk about how the developers have confirmed that G is in fact the final boss of Street Fighter V. Now, in the arcade mode, I don't know if that's actually true. Like, if you play the arcade mode in Street Fighter V, and I think Bison is still the last boss, but some people told me that G is a secret boss character similar to Akuma, like in the Street Fighter 2 arcade mode. But some in the comments, please correct me if I'm wrong, and yeah, give me more details on that. But anyways, the developer left this comment regarding G. It says, G is the final boss of the game. I think M. Bison looked like he was the final boss until G showed up, but as a numbered installment in the series, we really wanted Street Fighter V to have an original boss character. G's key phrase, President of the World, was so strong, I think we got a little carried away with it. His design was something of a snap decision, but if the American office had nixed the president concept, our alibi was to say he was just a circus ringmaster. So that's pretty interesting. He could have been a circus ringmaster if they didn't like it on the American side. There's a lot of backloaded G. Those who play Street Fighter 3 probably have suspicions about his connections to the guild's G project files and the character Q, and I hope people will keep wondering about the significance of those initials. I wanted to get a little meta with his moves, so some of his actions have him work in the audience, giving speeches or responding to spectators. We also wanted to be able to power up his moves mid-battle, so he gets stronger as he goes, absorbing the power of the earth and its people on a presidential level. So that was a really interesting comment. It's funny too, because they were like, we wanted an original boss character because it's a numbered series, but then what happened to Necalli, man? Necalli gets no love. Like, it's really funny because, like, at first we thought Necalli was going to be one of the main villains, and it even seems like that as you watch the story mode, but it seems like they kind of just changed their minds and they just filled in Bison for some reason. But G would be a good final boss as well. I just don't think the storyline is really built well around that. But I think, G as a character, as a brand new character to the game, I think Capcom did a great job on the design though. People have fun playing G. He's definitely tournament viable, and he's got a lot of resemblance to Q, so it ties in something on past Street Fighter games and adds more flavor to his story too, of course. But I think the story of Street Fighter V is a mess in general. It's like I said, with the Necalli thing, and I really don't like the character stories in the game, the individual character stories. A lot of them go nowhere, or it's just fluff. Like E Honda kicking everybody out of his bathhouse, or Abigail's storyline was just a complete waste of time. I do feel like there are some good ones, like Ed, for example, is a good one. Colleen is another good one off the top of my head. But a lot of them, like I said, are just dead air. They don't really progress the storyline in any way, shape, or form. And I think it's just a waste of time for their writers or whoever's doing the art to just have fluff. Maybe for a lot of the goofy characters you can have some fluff, but even them, they should tie into the storyline in some way. And like I said, there's a lot of history with this game, and especially a lot of opportunity to tie the game into Street Fighter 3, which they have by introducing Gil. Of course, Gil can't be the final boss of this game, but yeah, I guess that's another video to talk about. But yeah, now you guys know G is the final boss of Street Fighter V, so that is interesting. And I like how mysterious the character is. I hope Capcom never actually fully explains it and keeps the character mysterious like Q, because that's what makes the character interesting in the first place. And I like how G is kind of ambiguous whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. Alright guys, time for the juicy tweet. I don't know why I find this so funny, but it's good, it's good. So Brian Hanford, who is the voice actor of V from Devil May Cry 5, made this random tweet on Twitter. He says, absolutely pumped for the next Capcom VS game. 3 exclamation points. New characters but could be very familiar. ... Now, of course, when he released this tweet, it popped up everywhere, right? It was like basically considered a leak at that point. and everyone was like, "Whoa, what's going on? Capcom VS game, Marvel Capcom 4, what's going on? CVS 3?" And it started the conversation going, and of course the tweet blew up. Of course it blew up, and there's been a lot of speculation going on about it. And then the next day after the tweet blew up, he made a follow-up tweet, Brian Hanford, and he said, "Let me be 100% clear. I have no knowledge of any new Capcom games or the potential of what any of their games may entail. This tweet was about me being a big fan and seeing an Instagram ad about Capcom characters. Again, please understand, I am in no way teasing or revealing info." Dude, when I read this, I imagined a red laser pointer right on his forehead from Capcom as he was typing this. It's like, the way it's written is so perfect, and I mean, memes with V, but seriously, the way it was written was so good. I mean, personally, I don't buy this for a second. This looks like the most blatant damage control I've ever seen, but he could be genuinely honest and saying, "Hey, I didn't mean to hint the game," but it's just, if you go back to his tweet, the way it's worded is just, it makes it so suspicious. If he didn't say anything at all after this, I think he would have been fine. But the fact that he, said he has no knowledge, he's like absolutely pumped for the next Capcom game, insinuating he knows that there's going to be one. New characters, insinuating that he knows which characters are in the game, but could be very familiar. Like, I don't know how you get this from an Instagram ad, like how this even happens. But, I mean, I saw the ad, I think I saw the ad that was posted, and it does show V as one of the characters, and maybe he was talking about that. But, I mean, take it how it is, guys. I mean, there is still a even if this guy is genuinely telling the truth, like, it's still a very huge chance that Capcom's going to announce a new fighting game soon. Because, once again, the 4-year dev cycle, right? Next-gen consoles are coming out. I'm not necessarily saying Street Fighter 6, because Only says Street Fighter 6 not coming for a while, unless he's full of shit. But then we have the Capcom Cup champion not continuing, not going to be a reigning champion for next year. We have the Red Bull Kumite champion not continuing for next year. There's just so many hints, right? We have it looks like Street Fighter 5 is reaching its tail end, right? With the content, no extra battle costumes. We have Seth, who has all the moves of all the characters in the game. It looks like it's really rounded up, neatly tied into a bowl, all the boss characters. I mean, now we have this tweet. I mean, man, there's just so much information, and it's really funny on what will be coming next. But this tweet just cracked me up, guys. So let me know what you guys think about this. You guys think this is damage control, or he just genuinely made a huge mistake and made some crazy post? I don't know, that definitely needed some context there. But on the topic of a new Capcom VS game, that would be, like I said, very plausible, because if it wasn't Street Fighter 6, something that would be huge that it could push for esports would be something like, a Capcom All-Stars kind of game, or dare I say it, a new Capcom VS SNK. That would be amazing, but highly unlikely. I highly doubt they would ever do a Marvel's Capcom 4. I don't want them to do a Marvel's Capcom 4, to be honest with you guys. I just don't like the idea of Capcom working with Disney or Marvel. I think it would just be too much of a headache. It would be too hard for them to patch the game properly, approve things, get specific characters. It'd be make Chun-Li ugly. I mean, it'd be a gong show. I think Capcom should just stick. They have enough strong characters in their IP. They can have Capcom vs. Capcom, okay? They have enough damn games. They could do it. No problem. So I think that's what they should do, and hopefully we can get some news on that in the future. Okay, final news of the day. Capcom has revealed they're going to be doing maintenance very, very soon on January 18th next year. We have to wait another year. Nah, it's just a typo. They meant February 18th, but that's apparently when they're going to do the netcode fix, because in Ono's tweet beforehand, he said that the netcode update will happen next week after the server maintenance. This is the next server maintenance, so it's going down on 4:30 p.m. PST to 8 p.m. on February 18th. So I'm very excited to test that out. Of course, I'll be getting back to you guys on the result of this netcode fix, and we'll see if Capcom did it again, or we have to wait another 4 years. We have to wait for Street Fighter 6 for good netcode. We'll have to see, but I can't wait to test that out. And hopefully Capcom will give us more details on what exactly they changed in the netcode, because they need to fix the matchmaking too, not just the netcode. So yeah, that's your news roundup for the today, guys. And yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. And yeah, may the one-sided rollback be ever in your favor. Take care, guys.